go over these. Zoom in a little bit. So if you're good with these, you're good with anything I'm going to ask you on the circular flow diagram. And there's just going to be a few questions. So factors of production are the inputs into the production process. All right. In a circular flow diagram, taxes, there's nothing about taxes in the circular flow diagram. Income payments flow from firms to households, and sales revenue flows from households to firms. The answer is B. All right. In the circular flow diagram, firms are not the buyers in the market for goods and services. Firms sell in the market for goods and services. Households are the sellers in the markets for the factors of production. That is correct. Households sell factors of production to the firms. In the simple circular flow diagram, households are represented, but firms and households are represented. Households own the factors of production. So the first four questions, D, B, B, B. Any questions or comments on these first four questions? Let's move on. Okay, so we've got a little circular flow diagram. Let me move this over here so I can keep all these questions on the screen. All right, which arrow represents the flow of goods and services? Well, so first of all, money is the outside ring. Dollars go around the outside. Goods and services and factors of production go in the inside. And goods and services are clearly going through the market for goods and services. So arrow B represents the flow of goods and services. Goods and services go from the firms to households in the market for goods and services. Which arrow represents the flow of spending by households? Well, households buy in the market for goods and services. So dollars is the outside ring. Households spend their dollars in the markets for goods and services. The answer to this one is A. Which arrow shows the flow of land, labor, and capital? Well, land, labor, and capital is what firms buy. It's what they spend their money on. They spend their money on that so that they can produce goods and services. So land, labor, and capital is what households provide to firms. Firms buy this from households. So C is the answer to number 7. And please stop me if I'm going too fast. All right. Which arrow shows the flow of income payments? Paychecks, right? Firms pay households for their services, for their labor. And dollars is the outside loop, so that is D. Firms are paying money to households in exchange for their labor.
What question are we, mister?
Say that again?
In what question are we?
We're on question 8. All right. So income payments is like what you get for your paycheck. If you work for, Bertucci's, they're paying you money. The firm is paying money to the household in the market for factors of production. Your labor is a factor in their production of pizzas. Number 9, Juan buys a new pair of shoes at a shoe store. To which of these arrows does this purchase directly contribute? Well, first of all, he's buying shoes here in the market for goods and services, and dollars are going this way, and shoes are going this way. All right? So A and B. When you buy a pair of shoes, your money is going to the firm and the shoes are going to you through the markets for goods and services. And number 10, Michelle completes her first week of employment working as a hairdresser at a salon. On Friday of that week, she receives her first paycheck. To which of the arrows does this activity contribute directly? Well, her labor, her work is going to the firm, the salon, and their money is going to Michelle. And this takes place in the market for factors of production. So the answer is C and D. Any questions or comments on page 2? All right, let's wrap this up.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I have to remember sometimes I have to wait longer on Zoom for an answer. Sometimes I don't hear something and I start moving on. But you gotta wait for people to unmute and figure out what they're doing. All right, I'm gonna move on. If you have questions, speak up and we'll move back. All right, last 3 questions. In markets for factors of production, do households provide firms with land, labor, and capital? Yes, they do. And there's no choice that says all of the above, so I don't even need to read the other ones. 12 is probably the trickiest one here. Does anybody think they know the answer to 12?
Would it be B?
I said C.
Yeah, it is B. C, rent payments. So you're paying for capital, which is structures, right? Equipment and structures. So Trish is a household. She owns shopping malls, and she's receiving rent payments. So this is in the market for factors of production. Ben is selling advertising for a newspaper, and he receives a commission from the newspaper for each advertisement that he sells. That's a hard one to understand why it is in the market for factors of production. This is clearly factors of production because he's working for somebody, he's receiving an hourly wage. This is the one. Juanita works as a marriage counselor, and her clients pay her on a per hour basis for her services. She's really acting as the firm, and clients are paying for her services. So that's the best answer, even if you weren't sure why D is in the market for factors of production. This is a good and service market for goods and services. And the last one, number 13, capital refers to, we had it right on the PowerPoint, buildings and machines used in the production process. That's equipment and structures. All right, and this one here, I didn't really go over it, but the newspaper sells new copies to consumers in the market for goods and services. Advertisement is really one of the inputs to the paper that helps it cover its costs. So advertisers are really, they help the newspaper pay for its own printing and production, in addition to the money that consumers pay to it. But all right, any questions or comments? If there are, let's take them. If there are not, let's call it quits 5 minutes early, and see you guys tomorrow. There's no official homework tonight, except maybe look these over. If you have any questions, stay on the line. If you don't, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a nice day, mister.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Have a great day.
You too. Hey, Travion, while you're still here, did you figure out how to right-click, and you just still had trouble with the instructions that I sent you?
Yeah, I figured out how to right click, but
Okay.
yeah, I had trouble.
Okay, so for now, why don't you just take any pictures because this weekend you're going to have to do some sketching for the second part of your test. Unless we figure out something better, why don't you just import the picture? Like take a picture, hold it up to your camera, and then import it into a Google Doc. Okay.
I'll try it out.
Cool. All right, guys. Have a good day.
I got a question.
Oh yeah.
For last night's homework, I thought you said choose like out of the 6, just one.
No, it says any 6. You can certainly, since there's no homework today, if you want to, do 5 more and turn it in, I'll give you full credit for that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, Patrick, I will go mark you here on Aspen, but you did